In 1914, you got me back on 2? I think so. Back in 1914, U.S. President Woodrow Wilson declared Mother's Day to be a national holiday. And 100 years later, the whole world now celebrates mothers who take so much time, who sacrifice so much of themselves and their lives just to raise those generations of children all the way to adulthood. Many of us, we'd like to give thanks and confidence to those moms to let them know just how much we love them. We give them gifts, flowers, chocolates, little cards, and sometimes those cards have little notes in there, and the words that we say, sometimes they mean just so much. And I was sitting there thinking, what could you say to mothers on Mother's Day about motherhood? So somebody said it takes about 6 weeks for life to return to normal after you've had a baby. Well, that's somebody. Let me tell you, that somebody doesn't know that once you're a mother, normal is history. Somebody said it's not hard to be a mother. Oh, it's easy to be a mother. Just being a mother, everything comes by instinct. Well, that somebody never tried to take a 3-year-old shopping. And somebody said, oh, you don't have to be educated to be a mother. That somebody never tried to go and teach math to a 4th grader. Somebody said that you can find all the answers, everything that you want to know and more, in all of those books about child rearing. Well, that somebody didn't know or didn't have a little boy who was sticking beans up his nose, or a little girl that was sticking them in her ears. Somebody said that motherhood is boring. Well, that somebody never got into a car with a teenage driver with a driver's permit. Somebody said that motherhood is, well, it's quite easy. It's just labor and delivery. Well, that somebody really didn't know that motherhood is seeing that baby off on that first day on the school bus to kindergarten, or seeing that baby off on a plane going to military boot camp. Somebody said that mothers can just stop worrying once their kids get married. Well, that somebody didn't know that marriage brings a new son or a new daughter to a mother's heartstrings. Somebody said that a mother's job is done when her last child leaves the house. That somebody never heard about grandchildren. But I've heard that motherhood is not just a stage in life. It's actually a calling from God. It's a lifelong calling from God, where He gives us hearts that are oh so good, that love so deeply and so tenderly, hands that just work tirelessly for His image that's blossoming in all of those little lives that are entrusted to her care. What a blessing it is. I mean, what a true blessing it is to be able to go out there and just tell your mother, thank you. I love you. And so you know what I'm going to do? Right now, all of the kids, doesn't matter how small you are or how big of a kid you are, I want you to get up and go over and tell that mother, if she's here, how much you love her. Tell her thank you. Do it right now. And if there's a grandma here or a great-grandma here, you need to thank them as well. Go ahead. Take a moment. We're going to do that right now. Moms, you know all those flowers that you got when you came in the door? They had that little note attached to them. That's our gift of love to each and every one of you, to let you know just how much we love you. You know, St. John in his epistle today tells us exactly where Mom gets all of that confidence, exactly where she gets all of that love. It comes from her relationship with God. I know we're sinful. I know we're weak, but we have confidence. We have confidence that if we do what God says to do, if we obey His commandments, His commandment is easy. That we believe in His Son, Jesus Christ, that we love Him, and that we love one another, just as He did. So, love. That's what it seems to be about. And that's burdensome. After all, how hard, how burdensome could it be to love someone who is insensitive, who's vain and cares nothing but themselves? How hard could it be to love someone who won't even go out and meet the needs of others? How hard could it be just to take the time to test your patience, eat a little too much candy, and test the trusting limits continuously 24 hours a day? Yes, sometimes it's hard to love. It's hard to be loved. Sometimes it's hard to love those when they don't even act or seem to be like children of God. Yet, there she is, Mom. She shows that love, even when you don't even feel like it's love. Even if you were standing there, that you don't even know if you could do what she does when she's standing there with you. Especially it's you, the one with the short fuse, you, the one that brings that big wrecking ball that comes crashing right into her heart. Yeah, when you're the one that's hard to love because you're kind of prickly all over and, it's really hard. But there's Mom is. She's that Sunday morning, full of grace. She's that Sunday morning, full of Jesus, full of the love that comes out to let you know that you're a child of God, and that she loves Him, and she shows that love by loving one another. So even if you're one of the little kids or one of the big kids out there that's kind of hard to love sometimes, well, even when you take Mom for granted, and she gives you just 1,000,000 second chances, she's still that fountain of grace, forgiveness. She personifies Jesus' love. She's the one that takes that love and she wears it right on the ends of her sleeves, Jesus' love. And she just reaches out with those hands and just kind of picks you up, gives you that tender embrace. She gives those loving kisses to the skinned-up knees and elbows, and she gives you those hugs of confidence to let you know life's going to be all right. Even though the world just came crashing down on you, there's Mom. She loves one another. Mom's love. Oh, Mom's love is really a love it's a different kind of love. It's a love that even loves those that are mad at the world, those that are screaming and yelling and nagging her, and they're just digging great big holes in her heart. And they really don't even know what they're screaming and yelling or even nagging her about half the time, but there's Mom. She loves you. Even if you don't think you're loved, even if you think that all of the things that you've done, no one could love you, Mom does. She still loves you just the way you are. Oh, she'll be quick to point out how all of your faults are. Oh, she'll be quick to agree with you about all those things that are problems in your life and that they need to change. And yes, oh yeah, Mom is not perfect herself. She may not admit it, but she's not always full of grace. She's not always full of forgiveness. Oh, sometimes moms are kind of grumpy. Moms are kind of grouchy, especially when the whole world comes crashing down on them. And everything that they're doing just seems to be coming apart at the seams. When all of their confidence, when all of their faith is just kind of gone out the window, along with the bathwater. Mom herself is wondering, who could love this? Who could love children like this? Who could love me? Who could be the one that would have so much love to give life and love like this? It must be a love that's beyond life. It must be a love that's beyond words. It must be a love that comes from a God who is love. A God that sent his Son to be born of a woman named Mary, who loved her Son very much. And this was a son. This is a Son who's born of water, of blood, and the Spirit. This is a Son that's easy to love because he loves everyone else. This is a Son that's easy to love. He obeys the commandments. Oh, this is a Son that's willing to give all for each and every one of us because he loves us so much. This is a Son that is the Son of God. This is Jesus Christ. This is the one that they said, you can't be the Son of God. We have no confidence, no faith in you. We have confidence and faith in ourselves. We have confidence and faith in the world. You can't be the Son of God. So we're going to send you out. And don't think we're going to send you out. Not just to go. We're going to give you one of these baptismal beatings, just so that you know that you're not the Son of God. And his mother watched. She watched as the water, the blood, would flow out of him, along with his spirit, which completely left at midday. Gone, dried up, no more. And then the water, the blood, and the Spirit, they begin to testify. They begin to tell the truth that this is the Son of God. The water, the blood, the Spirit. They begin to get that all flowing, beating once again. The Son is alive. The Son of God is alive. Once again, to be coming out, to be seen by all, to be loved by all. What was once hard to look at, but easy to love, is now easy to look at. Easy to love, because he loves so much. This is the love that Mary got to see. The joy that comes back to her heart. Having a baby is one of those most intense experiences that you can ever have. It's an experience that is painful, it's emotional, but it's joyful. All at the same time. It's kind of confusing. But it's nothing to have seen your baby crucified on the cross. To see your baby to die. It's emotional. It's painful. But that's what he did. We can't even imagine what she went through. She went through a lot. But we are made alive. We are made alive again each and every day. And the water and the Spirit that comes into our lives through the Word. It gives us that confidence, that faith to believe in the Son of God, Jesus Christ, that he has come for us and that he gives us his blood and his Spirit to remind us that we are his children, the children of God. That love is not a burdensome thing, not for us who are the children of God. And love is not a burdensome thing for him either, because he loves each and every one of us who are the children of God. We can share that love. The Lord's Supper and the baptism, the water, the blood, and the Spirit can go out. It's a doctrine of love that we can all share with those that share in that same doctrine of love. Yeah, sometimes we are hard to love, and some of us are harder to love than others. But it's love that conquers all. And that's mom's love included. It can conquer many things. But there is the love that we get from Mary's Son. The love that says, you can be hard to love, but you know what? If you're truly repentant, you are truly forgiven. You are truly loved. And that I'm going to come back one day. It might be 24 hours from now. It might be 8 days a week from now. But whenever that day is, I'll be back, and I'm going to take even every one of you children with me to come and live with me in my house, in my home of love. Moms know all about what it is to give birth. They know what it is all about to see that new birth of all of those that are entrusted, which she gets to see his image just blossoming in them and growing each and every day. All of those little and big kids that are entrusted to her care. So, Mom, happy Mother's Day. Thank you very much for all that you do, for all of your sacrifices, for all of your love, for all of your tenderness, for all of your big heart. Amen.